Chapter 9. If this day was like the others, Jewel would take the 7 to 8 aerobics class and leave between 8:20 and 8:30. Rain waited in his truck with his black-gloved fingers squeezed around the steering wheel. Elation shivered through him, balanced with an equal level of terror, worried he'd get caught. He'd done this many times before, but he usually took a woman from a bar. The only exceptions he made were for the mothers, sisters, and wives of the members of the Hell Pack. The capture of AJ's mother and grandmother was a particularly lucky score. He snagged them on Highway 45, traveling north. An hour and 25 minutes passed before Jewel finally emerged from the large square building. Rain slithered from his car and crouched behind hers. Her car lights blinked, and the click of the locks releasing resounded. She climbed behind the wheel and tried to close the door, but he caught it and snatched her wrist. Covering her mouth, he yanked her from her car. Her feet kicked at the pavement. Her hands gripped at his fingers. To no avail. Rain dragged her to his back seat and slugged her in the head, knocking her unconscious. Using the rope he bought earlier, he tied her hands and feet, then covered her with a gray blanket. Driving in the slow lane on Highway 45, he repeatedly slapped his palms against the steering wheel, releasing some of the adrenaline surging through his veins. When he arrived home, he parked and exited his yellow pickup truck. He gripped Jewel under her arms. He dragged her from the vehicle through the tall grass and into his single-wide trailer. The front door swung open. Rain gave his balding, short friend a nod. "Hey, I got her. Give me a hand." Kip grabbed her feet, and together they carried her through the kitchen into Rain's bedroom. "Let's do the swing thing." They tossed her onto the black comforter. Kip took a seat at the small kitchen table. Rain gripped the top of the doorframe. "You like her?"
"Yes."
"I knew you would. What's not to like?" He grabbed a pair of scissors from a drawer. "You want to do the honors?" Kip walked to the bedroom and cut the garments from her body. Rain flipped around and curled his fingers around the top of the doorframe. A mixture of intrigue and lust pulsed through him. He grabbed a black Sharpie off of the top of the bureau, elbowed Kip out of the way, and climbed over her. On her stomach, he drew an arrow pointing down and wrote the words, "My sweet. Let's have a bite to eat. She might be out a while. You gonna watch us?" Kip dipped his head forward, one slow nod. A carton of chocolate cupcakes were set on the counter. Rain offered one to Kip. A white plump cat jumped to the table, purred, and rubbed against the side of Rain's face. "Cupcake." He trailed his hand from her head and down her tail. With his mouth against the cat's cold, wet nose, he gave her a kiss. "I missed you." He scratched Cupcake behind her ear. "We have a guest. When she wakes, I'll introduce you." He ate a cupcake and peered around the corner, but Jewel was still out. He drank a glass of water and refilled the glass. With a cupcake in one hand and a glass in the other, he walked to the bedroom and tossed the water at her face. She gasped and opened her eyes. Rain climbed over her. He pushed the cupcake at her lips, but she turned her head and screamed. He slapped her. "There's nobody for miles. Nobody will hear you. Regardless, it irritates me, so don't do it again." He moved the cupcake toward her lips. When she only nibbled, he shoved the cupcake into her face. Blood gushed from her mouth. She spit out a tooth. With a snarl, Rain grabbed a hunk of her hair, yanked her head back, and licked blood off her chin. "My sweet,"